Hi, everybody. It's me, Awen, again. In case you don't know, I'm the WikiTree Forest Elf, and happy to be a part of that group. I'm also happy to kind of be a part of this group, which is a fun group of genealogists called GenFriends. And some of them are here to chat with us today, and you guys can get to know a little bit more about them and maybe tune into our weekly chit chats and so that's plenty about me. I think we'll just maybe go around and you guys can each share a little bit about yourselves. I'm sure everybody who knows who you all are too, but for posterity's sake. So maybe we'll start with Melissa and then Laura and then Sherry.
Okay.
I'm Melissa Barker. I'm also known as the archive lady in the genealogy community. I am a professional genealogist, been that way for 19, 20 years. But I'm also an archivist. That's my main gig. I'm an archivist at the Houston County, Tennessee Archives and Museum. I've been doing that for 12 years. So I speak and I write and lecture and just trying to teach genealogists all about archives and what wonderful records that they have. And I'm also a gen friend. And so I've been doing this not necessarily since the beginning, but close. I don't know who was the longest serving, but way back when we started. So I love it because I get together with these wonderful people and talk about genealogy.
Well, Laura, you want to go next? Uh-oh.
You're muted.
You're muted.
She can't hear us.
Laura,
Laura, you're muted.
There we go. I said yes.
There you go.
My screen was buffering, so I don't know what the question is. We're just introducing ourselves.
Oh yeah, just introduce yourself a bit.
Okay, I'm Laura Hedgecock. I'm a speaker and a writer, and my website is called Treasure Chest of Memories. So I kind of approach everything from a family storytelling or personal storytelling viewpoint. And I guess in terms of the history of GenFriends, I'm a relatively later edition. What has it been, like 2 or 3 years?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and I agree with Melissa. It's just fun to go and hang out and talk about genealogy, or whenever somebody has something new in the industry, somebody's doing something interesting or different, we have them on, and it's fun just to pick their brains and see what they're up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a lot of fun together. I am Sherry Hudson Passy from Carolina Girl Genealogy, and I'm the host. And they keep me in line. They keep me in line as we meet together and put our shows together. Another thing besides reporting and having guests on from the genealogy community is we love genealogy TV shows. And so we will watch them, and then we'll get together and kind of pick apart what was going on and find the documents that they were using and discuss those. And we are always covering relative race. So if you haven't seen relative race on BYU TV, we suggest strongly that you become a viewer. It's an amazing show. We cry, we laugh,
Everything.
And we do everything. And Mary Kircherati is usually on. We had some of our regular panelists not be able to come on today. We call it marrying it, meaning she will take what documents were shown, and she'll come back and say, I know where they're going next time, or I know where they found this record, or I have found this, or I found that. And it's really fun to have her come and do that. Mm-hmm. We usually have Dan Earl, who's actually speaking at another society meeting right at this time. And so we love to have Dan because he is our comic relief on the show. So he's fun. We've got Jenny Heron that comes on, and she's a relatively new person that's come on, but she is such a big relative race fan that we wanted to kind of get her take on the show. Aowen has jumped aboard, and when she can, when her school schedule isn't filling up all her life, she likes to come on and give her 2 cents worth too. And just a note, if you are a relative race fan, which you need to be, we get the teams to come on and talk to us and share their sides of the story. Now, we can't have them on until they've gotten their 3rd strike. So we always say, when we meet you on day 10, because we don't want anybody to get a strike. They will come on and they will talk to us. And we put GenFriends up on YouTube, and so you can go and read the comments. And a lot of times the teams have come on and commented or answered our questions that we have asked during our recording. So that's really fun. We love it when we can hear from the teams or the producers or anybody else. So, but yeah, so that's what we do. We talk. Sometimes we'll just have a topic amongst ourselves. We've had a show and tell before where Melissa has shown us how we're supposed to the best practices for keeping our heirlooms safe, so that we can pass them down through the generations. So we just kind of brainstorm and come up with ideas. But I would like to say, any of you watching, if you have started a new genealogy product that you would like to share, or you're researching a specific group of people that maybe hasn't been featured very much on some of these YouTube chat shows that are out there, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to get you scheduled on. We love to hear what's going on and what people are doing and what's starting up and what is new. So feel free to reach out and let us know that you would like to be on GenFriends. Know that we're very laid back.
We have fun.
We do. We have a lot of fun. And as my ladies here will tell you, I make all sorts of mistakes. So don't come on thinking that you've got to be perfect. I'm constantly making some kind of mistake. I'm constantly like forgetting to plug in my computer, and I'll have to say, wait, put them on pause, and I'll go plug in my computer. So like that all the time. But
I also say too that if you've written a genealogy book,
yes,
because we have authors that come on too and tell us about their new book.
Yes.
We also and talking about relative race, a lot of people say, well, but it's like, it's a reality TV show, it's a game or whatever. I'm not interested in that. I was that way. I didn't watch for a long time because I'm not a reality TV person and I don't do game shows. But I tell you what, if you kind of can look past that part of it, the genealogy, the family history, and since there is so many of us out there that are doing our DNA, that are unearthing these secrets that were supposed to be hidden forever, I think that we could all relate to these people finding their ancestors, putting together their families because they're adopted. So very, very good. Like I said, I was one who came along kicking and screaming, but now I enjoy it. So
well, and it seems like there's still the game aspect, but they seem to be really focusing more on the family
yes.
stories and not quite as much on the
Well, see, we like the game.
Love that.
Go ahead, Laura.
I'm sorry. I said I love that. I mean, for me, it could just be called relative, and we can just the race part out. But we also we're always, this is just a silly thing, but we're always evaluating. They have these challenges. We're always evaluating the challenges and telling relative race that we're going to compile a book of challenges for people to do at their family reunions. And so each week we're like, yeah, this one didn't make the cut, or this one has potential.
Yeah, we're trying really hard.
We haven't gotten relative races permission to publish, but I'm sure Sherry can wear them down.
I can wear them down. I'll wear them down. Wouldn't it be fun to have a book of relative race games for your next family reunion? I think it would sell. I think it would be a really good book.
Oh, it would sell.
Yeah. So we're trying to convince them. We're always trying to, if you watch our broadcast when we are doing relative race, we're always trying to tell them different things they should do. Great ideas that GenFriends has to make the show even better than it already is. I mean, it's a wonderful show, but we're always trying to suggest things.
And somehow it usually involves the GenFriends panel somehow being involved or present.
Yeah, for a visit. Absolutely.
Right. We're kind of like there's 4 teams and we're kind of like team number 5.
Yeah. That's it, Melissa. That's it. But the TV shows is not the only thing we do. Like we talked about, we'll talk about new books that are coming out. new
We
ways.
talk about the latest and greatest genealogy too. We talk about if there's a particular specific conference coming up, we'll talk about it. We've talked about Roots Tech before. If there is a particular announcement from one of the major genealogical companies, we'll get on and talk about it. So we're also trying to stay up to date on the latest and greatest what's going on. So
Exactly.
Yeah. We recently had Allison Peacock on for talking about
Yes.
her charity. She was on 2020 last night. So
Yep, I recorded it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I recorded
Wow.
it to watch this afternoon. I was like, kids, I know this lady.
Yep.
So if you didn't watch it, it was on 2020. So y'all need to, after all the fun from WikiTree is over today, you need to take a chance.
Also, one thing, if you can't join us, it's a recorded show, and so we post it on Wednesdays most of the time, but it's also on YouTube, so you can go back and watch anytime. And so you don't have to have a subscription, you don't have to pay for anything. It's free for anybody to watch, and we love to hear your comments. Please go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos as you watch them, because that helps us to get some good traffic going, and shows YouTube that people are liking what we're doing.
Right. And we love your comments. We absolutely love your comments. So I put it, what I do is it's on YouTube, and I also write a blog post for people that want that. I add some extra pictures to the blog post. And so you can either watch it from the blog post, or you can watch it directly from YouTube. So, and like I said, like Melissa was saying, we have got, I don't even know how many. I need to go back and count and see where we are.
There's gotta be a lot.
Yeah. Well, we do one every week.
When did you start? It's been
several years ago.
This
actually, the whole thing began with the In-Depth Genealogist, and they started just doing the unpacking of the genealogy TV shows, and they invited me on as a guest, and then I ended up being the host, and then they kind of folded and weren't going to do their business anymore. And they said, why don't you just take it over and have it become your own thing? So I did. And so I called it GenFriends. And the picture you see behind me is my grandmother and her best friend. I wonder what they're talking about. I love that picture. They're just these teenage girls, about 14 years old. Maybe a boy walked by. I don't know. But I just thought, it's kind of like us as we sit around and we talk about the different things and have fun with what's going on in the genealogy community. So that's why I like to use that photo. So, because I know it's in my grandma's front yard. So with her best friend just giggling about something. So that's how it started. And then I just took it over. But there's hundreds of videos from all different topics and subjects. Yes. So go on and take a look and see what you'd like to watch. And we try to keep them short. Try is a little we really do try, because a lot of times people don't want to watch something big and long. But sometimes when we have a very special guest on, we want to talk to that guest. You get Nathan Dillon Goodwin on, and you want to talk to him more than 20 minutes.
And
we've had him on every time he's had a new book. So if you're a fan of Nathan's, go on our YouTube channel and you can see every book that he's ever written. We've talked to him about. Also, our GenFriends is not something you actually have to watch with your eyes per se. So if you are on that treadmill, you can listen to it like a podcast.
Exactly.
That goes along with Jane, who just said that we should podcast it. So
we have thought about changing things up. It's a time commitment. Yeah, we have thought about making a few changes, and maybe we'll go back into those talks and see what we can do about that, because we keep adding more people who have a little bit more technical ability. I think that having Jenny come on might be good, because she's in TV, and maybe she could help us to do a podcast. I don't know. It's just things we're looking at. It just started out really simple, and we've had a lot of fun doing it, and so it might be time to up the game, ladies. What do you think?
Up it, next level.
I love YouTube podcasts as opposed to listen only, even if it's just the two people speaking with headphones sitting there. I don't know why it is that
your facial expressions that way.
Well, I just kind of like to get to know them a little bit. And I think that's like you were talking about Nathan. I think that's the reason also that those things go long is as you get to know someone, and he is so much fun that a lot of it's easy to go on tangents, and I'm not sure that's always a bad thing because I like the long form if it stays interesting. I like the long form when it's just kind of storytelling and conversation versus I think when we really look at these short terms, we're trying to learn a concept. I think our brains get exhausted a little bit sooner.
Yes.
And so the 20 minutes is really critical, but this is just me thinking and I don't really know what I'm talking about. So
welcome to GenFriends. This is what happens in our discussion. And Dan is not here. And Dan is usually the one cutting up. He has a presentation he's doing at the same time. He's usually cutting up, making faces. And so that would be hard to do just like that. Just a plain old audio podcast because you would miss out on his shenanigans. It would be terrible. And again, Eowyn, the joke is that you and Dan are on GenFriends at the same time, and Dan swears you're the same people. And once again,
see, he's not here.
He's not here.
Because we're the same person.
That's right. See,
I am convinced you've been on and he's been on, but never simultaneously.
No, never.
And so Sherry keeps saying it's a joke, but I don't know. There is no evidence that it's
there's
no evidence of it being a joke. So
we have got to.
We keep proving it every time we get together.
Yes, Sherry, good genealogists, we look for proof.
There's plenty of proof in favor of us being the same person. So,
all right.
Well, one of the things I like about
it as an option. I'm not saying.
One of the things I like about GenFriends is that we're all genealogists, and I think we're all pretty seasoned genealogists, and so we bring a lot to the table as far as research and techniques and best practices and things like that to help other genealogists who may be watching. How to do their research, how to do those best practices, how to find the proof, make sure you have the proof. We've talked about source citations. We've talked about all kinds of different things. But that's what I like about our group, too, is that we have, we're seasoned. I don't want to say old, but we're seasoned.
Thank you for not saying old. I appreciate it.
Everybody kind of seems to have their own, corner. Their own niche. So it's not like
we all bring something to the table.
Everybody brings something a little different. Which is nice.
And it's just a really fun group, and we hear from people that watch that they have fun watching us, and so
that's what I love about it is when I joined, you guys were all just like, oh, well, where have you been? Like, here you are, welcome. So it's you guys. It's like it's. Really a good core group of friends, which that translates into the videos. And I think that's a big part of what people enjoy.
I think so too. And I think that, like I said, we all have strengths where some of us have weaknesses. The other ones will step in and they have the strength. And I love that about us because, and our goal is to teach genealogists genealogy.
Right.
And to inspire you to research your family history. And to, and to just really delve in there, get to know your ancestors. That's what we talk about a lot. I think all of us really do that type of genealogy. We want to know our ancestors. We want to know what they had for breakfast. We want to know what they had, we want to know all the ins and outs. And so I think we do that on our show. We really get into it. We talk about each other's family history.
Right.
And so we bring that out too.
Yeah. And it's definitely not about, for any of us, it's not just about the facts or the lineages. It's exactly what Melissa said, not only getting to know them ourselves, but kind of sharing what it might have been like to know an ancestor or know a family member that you never met. And that takes us back to relative race too, because there's so much storytelling in there. And it's just, and it's actually kind of a story of what could happen to us. We all take DNA tests and we don't know what's going to come down the pipe.
Right.
And so there's every potential ending to our stories that we don't know. And that our ancestors had their secrets that they didn't think we would ever uncover.
They had no idea.
And recently as the 60s and 70s, they're like, well, that's secret. They'll never know. And more likely we know.
And I know,
Yeah.
and I
We
know
know what
you
to do with what we know.
and I know for you ladies, and it's been personal for me for a while, but I've been talking about it on the show. I have learned as an adoptive mom, and this wasn't all supposed to be just about relative race and our coverage of relative race, but that just happened to be what we're doing right now because the season is we're coming up on day 8. The examples of the adoptees, the adoptive parents, their journeys have taught me more about what my adopted children need to know and how to handle that and to be okay with it. And so I think for me, it's really been something that's helped me, like a healing journey almost, and not be afraid of, oh no, do they want to go and find their biological parents? And what is that going to mean for me? And those types of things. So I have felt that it is kind of buoyed me up a little bit as an adoptive parent and gotten the courage to help. I'm helping one of them now who's we're making great progress and
That's great.
and reaching his biological family. And so I think watching the show has helped me to understand that it's not a us against them kind of thing. Oh no, I'll lose my child. And so I think that as we listen to other people's experiences, no matter what they are in the genealogy community, it helps us because we never know what other people are going through. We've had people come on the show, well, like Jenny, who I wish she could have been here, but she's got a family bake-off today. Doesn't that sound fun?
I know, it's so neat.
I want to head up to her house and go see what they're eating. They're in a family bake-off. But she has shared her experience with finding out that the man that raised her is not her biological father. And so she's come on and shared that story, and she's on our panel now. So we can help each other as a community.
Yes.
To get through these hard things. We really, really can. And
that's what I see. And GenFriends, I mean, it amazes me every time. And we are a family, but we help each other. And then we also have such a heart to help others.
Yeah.
And so, you'll hear it when we tape our shows, you'll hear us talk about, if you have these issues, please comment below or ask a question or, it's like because there's so many of us on the panel, we've all experienced not everything, but practically everything. And so we want to be there for genealogists as well. Sherry is so true. And I hadn't really thought about it that way. The relative race that we cover, not only does it do what it does, but it could actually help those out there that want to go down that journey.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and one thing that I've noticed about this whole industry, and it's pretty much true of the writing industry too, is genealogy in so many ways is not competitive. If you create content that people are interested in, and I create content that people are interested in, people will consume both.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a place for everybody in this community.
Right. And so it gives us
everybody.
a chance to lift up other genealogists that are either content creators, or they've developed a product, or they have a new way of doing something, or they have a new nonprofit, and there's ways that we can get involved with it. So there is kind of something rewarding about that you're not just entertaining and we are trying to teach as well, but that we're also trying to lift people up and help people get a start.
Yeah, I would hope that anybody coming away from watching GenFriends would just feel excited about some aspect of their family history that maybe we talked about, a little bell went off in their head, that we just help them get excited about one little thing that they can work on and make progress. And that's my hope as we record these shows once a week, that we'll be able to help somebody.
And, I wanted to mention too, Sherry did not mention this at the beginning, but we also have 2 other panelists that are African-American, Dr. Shelley Murphy and Bernice Bennett.
Yes.
And they bring so much to our community. And so, if you are researching your African-American heritage, I would encourage you to go to our YouTube channel, find those, because they have come on and talked about researching African Americans specifically. Find those videos and watch them because they have give you some fantastic information.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. And you'll see as you're watching GenFriends, it's not always the same people can show up every time because you know, I mean, I got to
busy.
be there. It's for me. I'm the host. I got to be there. Anytime that I'm out of town, we either do it on a different night or just, you know, take a week off or something. But so people come sliding in. Sometimes they come in a little bit late, where we try to be casual enough that I don't want anybody to think I can't come because I'll be 5 minutes late, because I want to hear everybody's opinions. I want to hear their thoughts about whatever we're talking about. And so we try to be just a really open, loose, loving community. With us on the panel, that then expands to those that are watching. We want our viewers to feel the same way, that we want to be welcoming. We want you to feel at home, and we want you to learn something and get excited about finding your family.
I think there's something there for everyone. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I know some people say, oh, you're doing Relative Race. I don't watch Relative Race. Can you go do something else? And I'm like, have you watched every other video we have?
Yes. Go to our YouTube channel.
So
subscribe.
Find the rest of them. Subscribe to it. Go look and see what else. If you don't want or don't care about Relative Race or Finding Your Roots or the other ones that we do during that time period, go catch up with the ones that you haven't seen or watch them again. So, you know,
and we are not responsible if you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning binge watching a Gen.
Exactly. We are not responsible for that. And I'm not responsible for all my mistakes that I make when I
and I make, and Laura makes.
Everybody
we
makes.
We all do.
We're just casual. There's no cuts. There's no retakes. What you see is just us. So.
Right.
So Cutie Mama asked, the group is just GenFriends. That's the
GenFriends,
right?
And you can find it by doing a search on GenFriends, but it's easier to find if you just search Sherry Hudson Passy on YouTube. It'll come up.
So YouTube has new handles, these where you can do youtube.com and then the // or / whichever it is, and then it is at GenFriends. So that's another easy way to find it.
Right.
So I'm actually loving YouTube's new handles. I think that does help a lot.
Find it. Yeah. And so our handle is GenFriends on there. But if you can't find that, just look at my page, and it's Sherry Hudson Passy, and you'll be able to find them.
Here's the link to the YouTube channel.
Oh, look at you! You're so good.
Oh, was that Laura? I just copy pasted.
Laura, did you do it, Laura?
Laura's on top of it today.
Thank you, Laura.
And
I was in a meeting yesterday when this man was saying, because of the election coming up, he's like, after Tuesday, I'll be able to think clearly. And I said, I would love to have a date.
Where you start thinking clearly.
Like even if it is a year away, that knowing that there is a date where my thinking will be clear.
Yes,
That would be nice.
That would be nice. Very nice. I'm gonna have to think on that one. See if I can come up with a date. Come up with a goal.
Yeah. Well, it won't be during Roots Tech, that's for sure.
No.
We're also
Oh my gosh.
And we did last year. We did a GenFriends during Roots Tech from the Family History.
And some were at Roots Tech and some were not. So that we did a regular Zoom call, and we found a little room in the Family History Library, and our panelists came on, and then we were pulling people out of the library and said, come down and talk to us. So we try to do things like that as well. So.
And yeah, we should make that known to WikiTree too. Okay, you'll be setting up your booth, but maybe one of you could come over and join us.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really great.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fabulous. That'd be a lot of fun. The more the merrier, as long as the Wi-Fi is working over there and we can get it to work. All good.
That's always the question.
Exactly.
Will there be Wi-Fi that works?
Well, that's why we did the Family History Library and not the Salt Lake Palace.
Good idea.
Yeah, they're a little bit stronger. Yeah, that was a little bit stronger. So
not as many people trying to use it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I'm gonna plug the next presentation because it's Melissa Barker.
Hey, Melissa!
She's up next. She is going to talk about how to breathe new life into your boring ancestors. Like she was just saying, we want to know the stories. We want to know what was for breakfast.
So, and if you think you have a boring ancestor, watch this presentation. because
I'm
we don't.
excited.
None of us have boring
No,
ancestry.
and Melissa is a fabulous speaker, so you're going to learn so much from her.
So,
Well, thanks for having us on.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for-
Thanks everybody for having lunch with us.
I know.
Something good to eat.
I know. I'm surprised they haven't mentioned food because
Yeah.
WikiTreeers love nothing more than to chat about their food. Most of our live chats are like, biscuits? Does anyone have chocolate? Who had blueberry pie today?
1, 2, 3. Tell us what your food is.
Yeah, don't let us down, guys. What are you eating? We need to know. It's important. They're very quiet.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, yeah, biscuits. Yeah, we have an Appalachia project, and so they're always talking about biscuits. So there's sort of this inside joke that biscuits, and everybody knows, Appalachia project.
Yes, yes.
And makes everybody laugh.
Yeah, very good.
Well, thank you guys for coming over into my space to chat for a
Thanks
little
for
bit.
Thanks
inviting
for
us.
having us.
Thanks for having us.
We really would encourage people, come over and see what we do, and
Sure.
let us know if you have something that you would like to come on and talk about as well. And whether it's your specialty or a new product that you're getting ready to put out or whatever it may be, just you can email me if you want. It's Sherry@carolinagirlgenealogy.com, or go to my blogspot and get a hold of me that way, or YouTube.
Google Sherry Hudson Passy. You'll find many ways to contact her.
You'll find me.
She's there.
She's not that hard to find.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Good luck,
Thank you.
Melissa.
Thanks.
Talk to you.